My advice to people is to get to know who is assigned to work with you when you are being traditionally published. So try to give yourself the opportunity to talk to the members of staff that you can connect with. And usually this will involve your publicist because they're going to work with you one-on-one, particularly to schedule events and to get you coverage, anything publicity related, endorsements, reviews, etc. But it can happen, and perhaps not for malicious reasons, could just be for workload reasons. The publicist is not serving you in the way that they should be serving you. So it happens in real life that somebody's not doing their job to the way that they should. I want people, especially authors who are involved with these very large companies that are their publishers, to feel really, really empowered to remember that they are part of the process and that their voice is really, really important. You have to exercise your voice in an instance where somebody assigned to you is not serving you. So I know that many of us tend to feel very grateful. You feel like you owe the publisher something for taking your book because this is such a competitive field to be an author. You can still be grateful and talk to them about a concern. My advice of the day is to communicate. Bring up those points of whoever's work. This does not have to be in a snide way. Just say what's going on, how you feel about it, how it's not working for you, maybe what you expected. And if you're able to bring up some specific examples, that is really, really useful. And don't worry about getting anyone in trouble. This is something that just needs to be said. So if somebody isn't serving you well, isn't serving your story or your book well, please talk to whoever else is there to assist you, because you are all supposed to be working as a team. So I don't want anybody to feel intimidated. You have to speak up. That's the only way things will get solved and resolved so that you can move forward and have a really good experience. And I'm saying this particularly for authors who have a book coming out now. If you're on backlist, it's a little bit of a different story, which you know, but you can only launch a book once. Your book publishes one time. That's why you entrust other people to launch your book and to get it done right that first time. So please, if you see something going wrong, speak up, feel empowered so that you can fix it really quickly so that everything goes right.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like rules for life as well. Like speak up when you need to speak
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And it's hard to speak up. I mean, let's consider an unagented author, okay? You submitted your manuscript, maybe the publisher accepts unagented manuscripts and they've selected to move forward with you. You sometimes feel like you're going in this alone. You don't have anyone by your side to advocate for you, which is something that largely an agent does. So you're coming in as author and agent all in one. That's a pretty big job, especially if you've done neither before, which most of us have not been an agent at least. So you
It's a
can be
learning
an
process.
author. Yeah, yeah. So you're coming in, you have a lot of stress on you, really. And most of you will be faced with a really large company. These are publishers. That's a really sweet name for it, but they are at the end of the day companies that are selling products. And that corporate attitude can still be there, even though it's an empathetic company that treats the people it's working with very well. And you feel that, right? Because you don't work there. So you're not an employee. You have a different relationship with them. So like I said, the tendency is for you to feel very grateful that they've even picked up your book to the point
Right.
that you feel intimidated to speak up.
Yeah.
I'm
You
just
know what?
saying,
Yeah, no,
it's
that's really
natural,
important. I think that's
but
really
speak up.
important. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially like as like you said, you don't go to school for this. You don't know like what you're supposed to do, etc. But with that being said, that kind of ties into something that happened to me yesterday, if you know what I'm talking about. Like with a certain person that was going to endorse my book, and I think they are still endorsing my book.
I
But
do know who this is.
yes. So, okay. I did my due diligence. I sent in my, not only my DRC, in case like you guys don't know what a DRC is, it's a digital read copy. So I had it for both of my first book and my second book, the manuscript. And I sent it in to this person. And more or less, I sent it to their assistant, okay? And we won't name names. But when I saw this person yesterday, they said to me, I am? When I said, thank you so much for endorsing my book. And he's like, I am? And I said, well, I left my book in the office with your secretary, and I also spoke to your assistant, and they told me to leave my book with you, so I wanted to make sure you got it. And he was a bit confounded with the idea, and he was confused. And then when I reminded him of the book, he's like, oh yes, I still have to read it. So my sort of like I don't know what the right word is for this, but like I guess in this sense you said, speak up, do your due diligence, make sure both parties are communicating properly. So, yeah.
This is a really common situation. If you are reaching out to people as your own publicist, where you're helping out with marketing for your book, so you are out there trying to get endorsements for your book, you're communicating with a bunch of people. How do I say it politely, Teresa? You are not the only person that person is dealing with. Such is the reality of life. That person has a business, and endorsements is likely not their main business. So you need to be on top of yourself and advocate for yourself by accepting the label of annoying and reaching
Which
out to
I
them.
think I was maybe yesterday. Yeah. So I was like, it was like an awkward situation too. So it's like, hi, thank you. And then they're like,
no.
Oh, okay.
It's
Thank
not
you.
that. You're going to feel you're annoying. Likely that person is not going to. You have to remind people that they owe you an endorsement, because the truth is things that are on the to-do list that are not your main work get left behind. So reach out to people, send them follow-up emails. If you're local and you're able to visit them in person, make an appointment, talk to them. And just like Teresa did, Teresa took the right path in this situation, that she spoke to the person, thanked them for the endorsement, and they said, I'm endorsing you. There's 3 options here, right? The first option is say, yeah, surprise, you're endorsing me. The second option is to explain, say, well, yes, I spoke to your staff. They agreed. It's in your mailbox and on your desk waiting for you. And the third option is for you to say, scratch your head and walk away and let it go. Change your name, leave to Malta, never be heard from again. Please do not take anything except for door number 2, what Teresa did. Be calm, be cool, be polite, and say yes. Explain the situation in detail. Recount when you spoke to them. You don't need an exact date, but say you spoke to them or staff and the book is in your hands. And I'm really excited to hear what you think. No pressure on the time.
Yeah.
And you email them later and say, did you have time to read it? Because this just helps people stay on track. And you never know. I will say, as Teresa and I are both neurodivergent, so as someone who is not neurotypical, I would love it if you reached out to me and reminded me of what I was supposed to be doing for you. Not because I can't organize myself, but if something fell behind, it might have fallen through the cracks of my system. And getting a reminder to me is not an insult. It's a good thing. And it'll show me that you really care about what you're doing and you want to connect with me. I'm important to you. You want to hear my words and my opinion about something that you've done or you're doing. That is a compliment. It is not a bad thing. So please talk to people. Explain. Don't let it go. Don't run away to Malta.
But I have a mustache and everything, so I'm ready.